liberals.
Yeah, it's bad.
It's like the way you were saying, it's like the reason the group that I have the most problem with are female college students at Brown. Or like any of these like elite colleges students. Because their dads pay for all their stuff. They have no sense of reality. They're given more than they could that's literally what it is. Because when it first said stuff white people do, my first instinct was it was just going to be a bunch of people working and paying taxes and just your father.
That's the majority, but they're not the squeaky wheel, right? They're not the squeaky wheel. The squeaky ones are the ones that have aborted all their children and are in same-sex marriages. And speaking of which, Owen, I watched your president's State of the Union, and I heard him give a shout out to the 50-year anniversary of the fake moon landing. But what I really wanted to discuss was the fact that we also have a 50-year anniversary of something, and we're commemorating it. It's been 50 years since Canada actually legalized gay sex. So now what Canada is doing is we are actually making a new dollar coin to celebrate gay sex. And I'm just wondering, as an American, as Big Bear himself, your take on the gay sex Canadian dollar coin.
The Sodomy? I was trying to think about like what it would be called. It would just be called like the AIDS buck. Like, I don't know. See, the thing about Trudeau that I don't understand, it's one thing if you're about freedom. It's another thing if you take pride in degeneracy. And he's the guy that's always like, sodomy rules. And I'm like, that isn't even on the table. And so the reason that I think it's really spiraling is the pride, like gay pride. It's insane. That just makes it. I don't have heterosexual pride, but like, there's way more to be proud of to having children and a wife and a husband and the way it's intended. And I still am not like, I'm straight and I'm so fired up. Look, I'm gonna marry my wife right now, right in front of everybody. I'm here to stay. Like, that's mental illness.
Yeah, I have to say that it's the idea too, where it's not even like we're cloaking anymore. Like it's a decriminalization of, I don't know, like gay so-called marriage. Marriage, by the way, is a religious civil right. So, I mean, for me, it comes from God. But regardless, it's the gay sex. It's literally a sexual act that we're putting on our currency. So a couple of weeks ago, Owen, I owed this really big legal bill for $43,000. So I was going to meme a little bit and come with a little change purse full of these Sodoloons, as you called them, I believe. And I called up the Mint of Canada because they're just about to issue them. And it's a real no one knows the date or the time sort of situation. They're really trying to drum up some excitement in the gay community and just the Canadian pro-Sodoloon community. So I called them up. I called up the Mint, and there's this like delightful young lady on the phone. And she's like, "Can I help you?" I was like, "Hi, yeah. I'm looking for a particular banknote." She goes, "What?" I was like, just the loonie. She goes, "A regular loonie?" I was like, "No, the gay sex loonie." Like, I didn't know how else to put it. And it was just like, what is life right now that I'm calling our Mint and asking for the gay sex coin? I mean, this is beyond Sam Hyde level of state-enforced homosexuality. This is like state-enforced reminder of homosexuality constantly. Okay, from there, what's up?
The next thing, they're gonna have like state-mandated rollerblading.
I wouldn't even mind that in comparison. Like, my whole thing is like, what am I? For instance, when I was in church as a young kid, and they passed around a little donation basket, my mom would always give me like $1 or 25 cents so I could learn the process of, alms giving. Like, what happens if I pull out a gay sex coin? 1, do I pass it to my kid? 2, do I get my kid to give it to the church? It creates a lot of moral dilemmas for myself as an individual who just wants to, transact $1.
But in Canada, there are no individuals. Everyone is one. Dude, it's crazy. Like, the Sodoloon, like, the way you handle that is so funny. Where you're like, yeah, can I get some dollar coins? The ones that are just really, really into like sodomy, like the gay one. Like when that's unearthed, like Roman style, people are going to be like, so that was a guy crazier than Nero. Like that was like, even like Nero, the emperor, wouldn't put sodomy on a coin.
Well, even like the old Athenians who were literally doing that everywhere weren't putting it on their coins. Okay, from there, I want to roll a little clip. This made a lot of noise around 6buzz, which is like a very popular Toronto Instagram account, which just basically displays all the degeneracy of my home and native city. And a lot of people were chirping this woman and saying that she is crazy, but I sort of empathize. Tell me what you think. We'll watch a couple seconds. We won't go through the whole thing of this woman sitting on public transit or trying to get a seat on public transit, yelling, "Are there no gentlemen left?" Roll clip.
Which one of you is going to be a gentleman? Show me! Show me which one of you is going to be a gentleman! Show me! Are there no gentlemen left in this? Are there no ladies left in this world?
They're kids!
Move out of the way! No, don't touch me!
This is what happens when you're being nice.
Move! I have a right not to be touched, and you have the space to move.
We can cut it there. We get the idea. All right, so Owen, here's the thing. Everyone was calling her crazy white bitch online and on the Instagram account. But for me, I thought I can empathize. This is my internal dialogue every time I get on top of public transit, because I think to myself, I don't need feminism. I need a seat. I need someone to open the door for me. What go on here?
Well, here's the difference between you and her. Well, first off, all those people that put the Sodomy in the little coin thing to get on the bus, they already committed to something because they used the sodomy coin. But
great point.
What she's saying is accurate, but it's very similar to some of my friends. I'm from New York State, and they just legalized 40-week abortions.
Right. We have that all across Canada, Owen. Do you know that? That is the state across Canada. We don't have a single limit on abortion in any province in Canada.
Like, yeah, and so when I've been against abortion this whole run here, and people would be like, "Oh, you're such a right-wing psycho. Like, what about 8 weeks, 10?" I'm like, when does life begin? If you don't have an argument, they'll take it to 40, and they're like, "No, they will." And so that's happening. Everybody's acting so surprised, and so like, "Oh, I'm so disgusted. This is so." You're a part of it, And that's how I feel about this woman. Where it's like, "Where's the gentleman?" The gentleman. I'm like, well, I don't know. Maybe you shouldn't have beaten them all to death emotionally for the last 30 years and made it seem like, because she, like someone like you, and like someone who acts feminine and is strong and sticks to beliefs even in times of pushback, wouldn't start screaming on a bus. Like that's probably a woman who like treated men horribly, or I'm not going to read into her, but then she wakes up and realizes the world's insane and she lost everything, and now she's spiraling. So what she's saying is accurate, but I don't have a ton of sympathy because, if she actually lived it, she'd have, her husband, her children, her brothers. She wouldn't be in that situation where she's at the end of her rope just being like, "Is there a man in this cold world left?" Like, that's somebody who is part of it, and so a lot of women. I'm so glad you say what you say, because it's like a lot of people don't know what they're giving up with feminism. They're losing. Like my wife, has her master's in engineering, and she's so happy she has a husband that can like provide, and she can be home with the kids, and the power and the authority that women have in the home is mind-blowing, and they're just giving it up to be a slave in a cubicle because some sodomite with a coin and rainbow socks told them to. It's madness.
This is your first night at Fight Club. You have to fight.
We were like, oh.